Hey guys, so we're at the last part of this book. I can't wait to find out who is the one who is responsible for those diamonds. So we're going to read this today, get to the end, and then you're just going to read your book. And then maybe just write down in your journal if you picked the right person in here who did it. Chapter 7. Here's the picture. That's that Danny Braveheart. And it looks like he's dropping something. Let's see. Danny Braveheart. A snack and a solution. On the way down from Luke Smith's room, Maya bumped into Danny Braveheart, and he dropped what he was carrying. Betting slips and gambling tickets fell like confetti and scattered down the stairs. Danny hastily gathered all of the fallen paperwork and cast a worried look down the stairs. Aha, thought Maya. That's what he was doing when I interrupted him earlier. He was sitting at his desk gambling instead of polishing the jewelry like he's supposed to. And now he's afraid Mohammed Carrot will catch him. So he has all these little tickets that he's used for gambling and betting. Look where you're going, you clumsy fool, barked Danny Braveheart before disappearing into his room. Maya quickly excused herself and continued down the stairs. Jerry came down from the church tower. In the church, he ran into Roland Sussman, the man with the 3 S's. Do you remember Mr. Sussman? He came into the jewelry store and he was talking to Vivian earlier. Remember that guy? Roland Sussman. I keep wondering, is he a suspect and they just threw him in there, or I don't know. Did you spot any birds? Asked the caretaker of the church. No luck today, replied Jerry, shaking his head. He said goodbye and walked across the street. Jerry and Maya had arranged to meet at the cafe next to the jeweler's. There, they each ordered an apple juice and a granola bar. So she's leaving. They're going to meet to get apple juice and a granola bar next door. They took a seat in the corner of the cafe where they could talk without being overheard. It had been a long, difficult day, and it wasn't over yet. It was time for the 2 detectives to discuss what they had each heard that day and what they'd seen. They sat in the cafe for an hour talking and comparing notes. I'm going to pause right there real quick because we talked about one time that a lot of times there is another person helping the main detective. So these 2 help each other. Jerry saw a lot that Maya couldn't have, and Maya filled him in on what she heard while she was working in the store. The 2 of them put together what they knew, and the clues fit together like pieces of a puzzle. The waitress was surprised when she checked on the 2 children. They had barely touched their food. After a while, Jerry and Maya nodded at each other with satisfaction and got up from the table. All of the pieces were in place, and they knew who the thief was. Ooh, are you so excited? I can't wait. Here we go. Jerry and Maya entered the jewelry store and walked toward Mohammed Carrot's office. They knocked, but nobody answered. Strange. Where could he be? Carefully, Maya nudged the door. It wasn't locked, so Maya gently pushed it open. Inside, they found Mohammed Carrot lying on his back on the brown sofa. He wasn't moving. Was he dead? Jerry and Maya rushed over. Thankfully, he wasn't dead. He doesn't look well, though, does he? He was breathing, but he was lying completely still, staring blankly ahead. He must be in shock, thought Jerry. The 2 detectives saw tears running down Mr. Carrot's cheeks. They dripped to the floor where his earlier tears had already begun to form a puddle. Oh, now I notice the puddle. Do you see that right there? Today, the 7th diamond was stolen, he sniffled. It's over. I will have to sell my beloved store. Not so fast, Mr. Carrot, said Maya. We think we know who has stolen your diamonds. In a flash, Mohammed Carrot sat up on the sofa, his eyes wide open. Oh, we're in the last part of the story. Are you guys ready for this? Chapter 8. Who, why, and how. You should know how to spell these words, third graders. Who, W-H-O, why, W-H-Y, and how, H-O-W. Let me guess, said Mohammed Carrot eagerly, wiping tears from his mustache. It must be Vivian. She's disappointed because she's not getting a raise. She stole my diamonds so she couldn't build a new house, and then she plans to buy expensive necklaces and clothes with the money instead. Oh, how could she? Groaned Mohammed Carrot. How many of you think it was Vivian? Vivian is innocent, said Maya, but she has a fiancé, a rich man who showers her with presents. Vivian didn't steal your diamonds. The only thing she's guilty of is kissing customers at work. So, Mr. Sussman and Vivian apparently have a little love thing going on. I know who it is, Mohammed Carrot said, jumping up. It has to be Danny Braveheart, that crafty old fox. He cheated me. Mohammed Carrot shook his clenched fist toward the floor above him, where Danny Braveheart worked. He stole my diamonds to ruin me, roared Mohammed Carrot. Once he has enough money, he'll buy back the store that his father once owned. Of course, Danny Braveheart wants to get rich. Jerry said, okay, of course he does want to get rich, but not by stealing your diamonds. He gambles on horse races. Danny Braveheart isn't a particularly friendly or dedicated employee, but he isn't a diamond thief either. Mohammed Carrot sank to his knees, weeping with rage. He banged his fists on the floor. Luke Smith, he hollered. You bragging sports car loving villain. How could you? Mohammed Carrot fell silent. A wrinkle appeared on his sweaty forehead. Yes, how could he? He asked and looked at Jerry and Maya. How on earth did he get the diamonds out of the store, and where is he hiding them? Well, the main character in this story is actually an apple. Do you remember that part? I kind of thought that might have something to do with it. Oh, an apple that isn't there, said Maya. Mohammed Carrot scratched his head. Jerry scratched his nose. Mr. Carrot clearly didn't understand, so Maya continued. Every morning, Luke Smith brings an apple to the office, but he doesn't eat it, and he doesn't take it home. So the question is, where does that apple go? Yes, Jerry added. In the mornings, Luke works alone in his room, and that's when he takes the opportunity to press one of your diamonds into his green apple. Then he opens the window and tosses the apple onto the roof. Oh, look, there's a diagram to help us. So he puts the diamond inside the apple, tosses it on the roof. It goes down the drain pipe. Do you remember when he bent down when he got down here? He was going for a little run. The apple rolls across the roof and into the gutter where it falls down the drain pipe and onto the sidewalk below. As soon as that's taken care of, Luke puts on his tracksuit and goes for his daily jog. Mohammed Carrot looked at the two sleuths, remember that's another word for detective, with his mouth wide open. Maya said, just in front of that drain pipe, Luke, your healthy apple-eating jogger, stops and pretends to tie his shoelaces. That's when he picks up the diamond-stuffed apple and runs to the post office to lock it in a safe deposit box. So those are all not the clues. This is the order of how he does it. I never liked that Luke anyway. We think there will be 7 green or not so green apples in that safe deposit box, and you'll find the key in Luke Smith's tracksuit, concluded Maya. By golly, you've solved the case, cheered Mohammed Carrot as he jumped in the air with joy. After he calmed down, he went to his safe and took out a thick stack of dollar bills. So a safe deposit box is a place where you can put things. Sometimes they have them at banks. This one's at the post office. And you're the only person who has a key to that. So a lot of times people put really important things in their safe deposit boxes. This is Mr. Carrot jumping for joy. I think he's super relieved. He took out a thick stack of dollar bills. Why? Here you are, he said happily. I am very pleased with the Whodunit Detective Agency. But now you must excuse me. Luke Smith and I are going to take a little walk to the post office together. Jerry and Maya walked out of his office. Vivian Leander was standing outside. She had been listening at the door as usual. Oh, I was just, she said, blushing. Jerry and Maya looked at each other and tried to hide their smiles. On the bus ride home, Maya suggested they buy a computer with the money they had just earned from Mohammed Carrot. But Jerry wasn't listening. He was looking out the window and scratching his nose. Now I understand, he said finally and laughed. Danny Braveheart was talking about gambling on horses when he said, you only need 1 horsepower if you choose, you only need 1 horsepower if you choose the right one. Exactly, exclaimed Maya. He was thinking about winning a horse race, as usual. A good detective leaves no questions unanswered, she said, and smiled admiringly at Jerry. The next day, the church caretaker, Roland Sussman, and everyone else in the little town read something very exciting in the newspaper. Let's see what it is. Here's a newspaper article. The Whodunit Agency solves yet another case. The young detectives of the Whodunit Detective Agency, Maya and Jerry, have successfully solved a difficult case. Through clever investigative work, they have linked one of Mohammed Carrot's jewelry store employees to a crime. 29-year-old Luke Smith has confessed to police that he had stolen 7 diamonds, each worth thousands of dollars. Mysteriously, Jerry has told the paper that he and Maya have 3 S's to thank for helping them solve the case. Now, a long prison sentence awaits Luke Smith, and there will certainly be many more assignments to come for Jerry and Maya's newly opened but already successful detective agency. There is another book after this one. If you love this book, you should try to find The Hotel Mystery of the Whodunit Detective Agency Mystery. I really enjoyed that one. So I hope that maybe you can find another book you love. Bye guys, that was fun. I hope you got it right.